Good morning. In the previous lecture, we have seen section 100, section 101, that is culpable homicide and murder, and thereafter we have seen two sections, that is 103 and 105, that is punishment for murder and culpable homicide. Okay, now we have left certain sections. Okay, means we have seen 100 and 101, but we have not seen 102. Then 104, 106, these sections we have not seen, 107 and all. Okay, in between we have seen the section. Why we saw like that? Because we saw the definition of culpable homicide and murder, and thereafter immediately we saw the punishment, which was not in a continuous section, which was in section 103 and 105. Okay, now we are going to start with section 102. Culpable homicide causing death of person other than person whose death was intended. Means here what has happened, a person is intending to cause the death of a person, okay, or he is having a knowledge to cause the death. So if he causes the death of that concerned person who he intends or who he has a knowledge, then that would amount to culpable homicide. But here what happens, by doing that act, he is causing the death of some other person. Got it? Means he causes the death of that person who he never intended to cause death. Neither he had knowledge to cause the death, and the death is being caused. So section 102 is telling that this will be culpable homicide. Though he never intends to cause the death, though he never had the knowledge to cause the death. This is called as transferred malice. Because he intended to cause death of a person or had knowledge to cause the death of a person, he had that knowledge and intention, but he causes the death of some other person. So he should be liable. So he is liable by culpable homicide. Okay, this is 102. 103 we have already seen, that is punishment for murder. Next is 104, that is punishment for murder by life convict. Means here what has happened, a person is a life convict, means he is undergoing imprisonment and he does murder. See here, whoever being under sentence of life imprisonment commits murder. So the definition of murder is complete here. It is proved that is murder. The only thing is the murder is been done by whom? A life convict shall be punished with death or life imprisonment, which means remainder of that life. So 104 is giving or stating the punishment for murder which is being committed by a life convict who is undergoing imprisonment. Okay, now that is 104. 105 is already seen, that is punishment for culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Okay, now 106. 106 is telling about causing death by negligence. Whoever causes the death of any person, but that is not culpable homicide. Now as it is not culpable homicide, it is not murder also, isn't it? We have already seen all murders are culpable homicide, but all culpable homicides are not murder. Therefore, to be a murder, it must be first a culpable homicide. So what is clearly told in 106, whoever causes death of any person by doing an act rashly or negligently not amounting to culpable homicide, therefore it is not a culpable homicide. Okay, but he has done that act very rashly, negligently, then he'll be punished with imprisonment 5 years and liable for fine. But if this act is been done by a medical practitioner, by a doctor, means what the doctor has done, that doctor has done a rash act or a negligent act while doing the operation, he has not taken care, and so he causes the death of that person, but that is not culpable homicide. Then here the punishment is up to 2 years and fine. Means if a doctor while operating or while doing his own diagnosis, or you can say he is giving treatment, and in that process he is very rash or he does a negligent act which is not a culpable homicide, then that doctor is liable for 2 years imprisonment. But any other person, if he does this act, then he'll be liable for 5 years imprisonment and fine. Both are liable for fine. Doctor 2 years and fine, and other person 5 years and fine. Okay. Now subsection 2 of this section is not yet notified. Okay, but what is that section? Whoever causes death of any person by rash and negligent driving of a vehicle. This subsection is yet not notified. Means the driver, he is rashly driving, negligently driving, and he is causing the death not amounting to culpable homicide. Moreover, what he does, he escapes without reporting to the police officer or a magistrate soon after the incident, shall be punished with imprisonment 10 years, extend to 10 years and fine. But this subsection is yet not notified. Means this subsection is clearly stating about rash and negligent driving causing death, which is not a culpable homicide, and what that person does, he escapes without reporting to the police or to the magistrate, then he'll be liable. Okay, now this is section 106. Now 107 is telling about abetment of suicide of a child or a person of unsound mind. Means here suicide is been abetted. What is abetment? If somebody provokes, isn't it? Somebody encourages, somebody aids. We have already seen this topic, abetment. Okay, here abetment is done of a suicide, and that also of whom? A child or a person of an unsound mind, and any delirious person or any person in a state of intoxication. And because of this abetment, what has happened? These people have committed suicide. Whoever abets this suicide, he will be liable for death penalty or life imprisonment or imprisonment extending to 10 years and fine. Therefore, abetment of a suicide of a child or a person under intoxication or a person of an unsound mind, that is punished under section 107. Okay. Now 108 states about abetment of suicide. If any person commits suicide, whoever abets that commission of a suicide will be liable for imprisonment extend to 10 years and fine. So what is the difference between 107 and 108? 107 is telling about abetment of a suicide of a child. Means who has committed the suicide? A child or an unsound mind or any delirious person or a person under intoxication. Means these people are not knowing what they are doing, isn't it? And this person has abetted. But 108 states about abetment of suicide. Means here the person is sound mind. He knows everything, that what he is doing, that by that he is going to kill himself. He knows that. But this person who is abetting, he is putting such a person in such a situation that he has been compelled to suicide. Got it? Therefore, he may directly help, he may directly provoke, he may directly encourage, he may directly compel the person. So these people are abetting the suicide, and they are liable for under section 108 for imprisonment extend to 10 years and fine. So 108. Previously we were having attempt to suicide also under IPC as an offense, but that has been clearly deleted. We are not mentioning here about attempt to suicide, because these poor people who are fed up of their life, they are having certain problems, and therefore they are thinking about suicide, and while committing suicide, here also they failed, isn't it? It isn't just an attempt, therefore they fail, they don't die, so they should not be punished. Philosophically it's been proved here, no? So they are so in a problematic condition. So now we have deleted that section, and we are not having attempt to suicide as an offense. We are having this abetment of suicide, because abetment is done by some other person. They are putting this person in such a situation that they think about committing suicide. Okay. Now 109 tells about attempt to murder, which is commonly called as a half murder also. Means here the person is intending, knowing everything. Here murder, the definition of murder has been fulfilled. From his side he is doing everything, but the person does not die. Therefore it can't be called as a murder. Therefore it remains what? As an attempt to murder. Whoever does any act with such intention or knowledge in such circumstances that he would be liable for murder. If death would have been caused, if he would have been liable for murder, then such a person is liable for imprisonment extend to 10 years and also fine. And if hurt is been caused while doing this, then he is liable for life imprisonment and punishment also, means imprisonment above life imprisonment 10 years and fine. Okay, now this is 109 subsection 1. Subsection 2 is telling that when any person under the sentence of life imprisonment, means the previous section which we have seen, that is 104, punishment for murder by life convict. Now this life convict, what he is doing? He is attempting to murder. Then he is liable under subsection 2 of section 109, and he will be liable for life imprisonment, and if hurt is been caused, then he is liable for death or life imprisonment, and that means remainder of his natural life. Okay, this is 109, that is attempt to murder, and 1010 is telling about attempt to commit culpable homicide. When we have seen the stages of crime, isn't it? What is an attempt? Attempt is an unsuccessful act, means the crime is not been committed, means the person had objective of murder but the death is not caused, therefore it remains as attempt to murder. And 110 is telling about attempt to commit culpable homicide. 110 section, whoever does any act with an intention or knowledge and under certain circumstances that if death would have been caused, he would be guilty of culpable homicide, but the person does not die, therefore that will remain as attempt to culpable homicide, and imprisonment, punishment is imprisonment 3 years or fine or both. And if hurt is been caused while doing this act, then here they are liable for 7 years imprisonment or fine or both. So 109 is telling about attempt to murder, 110 is telling about attempt to commit culpable homicide. Okay, we'll see the next topic in the next lecture. Okay, bye bye, see you.